Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to an interesting modeling company pop-up live. And as you can probably tell, it's a chilly old day here in the workshop. It is absolutely freezing, hence why I've got the heated gilet on and also my new beanie hat, courtesy of my good friend Jane. It says the Flying Scotsman. So brilliant. What are we going to be doing today? Just a short pop-up live. So when he says short pop-up live, we'll probably still be here in an hour's time. We're going to do a short pop-up live, and we're going to be putting some of the decals onto our little Italeri AMX. And I've just realised that I've left half the decals over there on the other side of the workshop. So bear with. Oh, there's nothing like preparation, and trust me, this is nothing like preparation. So, shall we dive down onto the workbench? So, here is the Italeri 72nd scale AMX. I got to say, it is a beautiful kit. Italeri really have upped their game for this one. The engraving on it, I like it. Drew and I had this discussion, and we both like the level because it will hold a wash. And generally the kit goes together very, very well. The only thing I'm not terribly keen on, and I don't know whether we can see it if I zoom in, Italeri provide some photo etch parts for these reinforcement plates. And I did everything I could to them. I annealed them. I also put them through a photo etch burnisher, cleaner, call it what you will. They're just still too, to my eye, they're a bit too thick. But hey ho. You'll also notice that my AMX is rather glossy. That is courtesy of Mr. Color UV Cut Gloss Super Clear. This stuff, as you can see, it's thinned about 50-50. Spray it on at a low pressure. Absolutely fabulous stuff. It's probably my go-to gloss. And what else? Just trying to think. Oh yes, the color. The color is Mr. Paint. This is my first experience with Mr. Paint, and this was their modern Italian sky grey. Very thin. Again, ready to go in terms of airbrushing. You just spray it on in very thin layers, but it builds up very quickly. So having not used Mr. Paint before, but having seen a lot of modelers eulogizing about them, yes, I am going to be trying some more of their stuff in the future. And another bit of a gratuitous plug here, but what I shall be also using this afternoon is my micro sole set organizer box, whatever you call it. An organizer. This is made by Premium Hobbies, just up the road in Weston-super-Mare. Believe it or not, folks, I actually bought this one at Telford last year because I wanted something to keep all the everything in order. Absolutely brilliant. They do all kinds of organizers like this, which are 3D printed. In fact, I've got some on the workbench here for the Infinity sanding sticks, sanding sponges, and also organizers for Tamiya cements, the different types of cement and everything. So absolutely first class, and they're not asking us to plug them. This is purely me as a modeler saying, if you want some gubbins to keep your workbench organized, head over to www.premiumhobbies.co.uk. There we go. So shall we put some stickers on? I'm also going to be keeping an eye on the comments because I've got my iPhone here in front of me so that I can keep an eye on if you lot are behaving yourselves. And let's just go to the live feed. There we go. That's me talking to myself live on the show. Right. Shall we crack on with some modelling then? I'm just going to say hello Nick Brown. He says, hello, what's this? Jim Ortegott, what's all this then? Jim Ortegott says, still struggling with staying warm, JM. Yeah, absolutely. Dave Fleming says, oh, Facebook notifications are back. And JT Scale Model says, good day, JM. Yeah, we'll have a bit of a rant about Facebook in a minute, but shall we put some stickers on and do some modeling? So I'm just bringing the as usual with Italeri, beautifully printed decals, but their instruction sheets sometimes don't quite match what's on the decal sheet. Never mind. So we are going to add decal 1B, which is on the fin. I'm just going to get the bit of the fin out of the way. This is usually my favorite part of the modeling process. Of course, you're going to say that. You're all thinking you're a decal designer. Yeah, well, yeah, obvs. But right, we are delving into the tool organizer here. Now, what I am going to do is there is my dish of tepid water with a little bit of washing up liquid in it. What I will be trying to do next time is to put a piece of foam rubber in there, and then just put the decal on top of the foam rubber and let the liquid soak up into it. But I'm still doing decal design, still doing decal application the same as I have for centuries, quite frankly. So I'm just wetting it a bit there, and then we'll pop it onto the kitchen roll to soak up the excess. I'm just having a look to see what other decals can I get a wiggle on here at the moment. We've got 9B as well. Actually, we've got a couple of badges as well. Where do they go? Decal number 3. Looking at the instruction sheets here, decal number 3. Doesn't seem to be listed on this sheet. How strange. All right, we'll come back to that. Oh no, there it is there. No, it's not. See this, right, we'll come to this in a second. We're going to have a bit of an Italeri rant here. Right, I found out where that badge goes now. Hello, Shane says, hello, John. Hello, Shane. Good day, Shane. And Mike Williams says, hello, Ethan and I are watching while in our workshop. Excellent. This will be a salutary lesson on not what to do, quite frankly. Now, the other, another very, very quick thing is, great thing about this little parts organizer is, I've got 2 paintbrushes here. I've got a blue one for Microset and a red one for Microsol. So we are going to do a little bit of the micro setting to start off with. And where is our little badge goes just up there. So I'll have a tiny, tiny blob of Microset just there. And then we will give the decal, oops, lady, give the decal a bit of a wiggle. Actually, we'll zoom in a bit, I think. We can afford to zoom in. So I'm just going to gently push it with the brush there. Yeah, it's just starting to lift off now. There we go. There we go. She is off. So, oops, let's get that on camera. And what, according to the illustration here, that's pretty much nailed on first time there. I'm always a little bit pensive if I get a decal into position first time, because I just think to myself, have I really got it into position first time? And there is always that temptation, just go in there and, yep. No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We've also got that one to go on the intakes there as well. So again, a little bit of Microset in there. now that hasn't quite separated from the backing yet. Come on, come on. There we go. Really do need to soak them a bit longer. And that sits there like so. I think that should align with the panel line a bit better. Whoops, daisy. Has a look. Yeah, that's. We can't. That's fine. Right, let's get rid of those two little gubbins. Right, bit of an Italeri rant, shall we? I'm a big fan of Italeri kits. Goes back to when I was a kid, and they were always cheap as chips and generally very, very good quality. However, there are numbering errors on this decal sheet. It's also not helped by the fact that they, as you can see, they break the sections up into, you've got section A here, then you've got decal number 1, you've got section C, you've got decal number 1. Now, okay, they qualify that on the instruction sheets by saying that should be decal 1B, and then you've got decal 9B. So it's making it clear that these aren't to be confused with the common numbers down here. But see, we've got the Orpheus pod there. The decaling starts with decal number 1. We've got the reconnaissance pod. It starts with decal number 1. We've got the common part. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, perhaps that's because I am so programmed when I'm designing decal sheets. Everything runs in sequential. So you start from 1 and then you end on whatever the final number is. The way Italeri do this is, I can see how people could very easily get confused. Not ideal to my mind, but that's just a personal preference. But I'm just having a look here. Jim Altegott says, no worries about talking to yourself, JM. I do it if I'm not on camera, quite frankly. I do it more at the modeling bench than in my other activity in my everyday life. Viewer Jared, neighbor Jared says, afternoon, must all be rained off. Dave Fleming says, I find it fascinating that people use so many different methods for soaking the decals. Yeah, I'm going to be using about half a dozen this afternoon. And Shane Weir says, I wouldn't be brave enough to lift a tiny stencil on the tip of a brush if I'd bound to lose it and have a flutter into another dimension. That happened over the week. I was putting some of the decals onto the pylons, and I took a photograph of the decal sheet because, again, there was a numbering error on the decal sheet. And when I came back to apply the last of the little decals that goes on the pylons, vanished. The sheet was there on the workbench, gone. Of course, I'm then checking my sleeves, my hands. I'm thinking, have I lent on it? I'm on my hands and knees on the floor. No, it's gone. It's absolutely vanished off the face of the earth. So what we should be doing is this one, which, I'll put it on camera. This one, which does actually have its decal in place, but it doesn't have one on the other side. So that would be an outward facing pylon, and yeah, everything else will be that would be inward facing. So hey ho, lesson learned. So let's have a look. Let's put some more stickers on, shall we? Also have a quick swig of the old barley cup as well. So I don't know whether you people work one side of a model and then work the other side of the model. Just do it one side at a time. I try to work that way. So we are going to pop another decal on, and I'll try a different method this time. So I'm just, these, by the way, these are the Tamiya decal cutting scissors. Absolutely brilliant. Big shout to the hobby company for supplying them for the toolkit here. These are the ones that I use when I'm on the road. Haha. But they are really nice, sharp scissors. So we're going to try a different method this time, which is I'm just going to drop it in there and let it sit at the bottom for a few seconds and then bring it back up to the surface again. Bum, 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 bum. That will do for now. Pop it onto the paper, soak the excess off. Right, shark mouth. I am going to go to the Facebook page because again, it just not very well thought out by Italeri. I wanted to do the shark mouth version, and I sat here on Friday night and started to apply the deck. Sorry, Thursday night, started to apply the decals. By then I'd already soaked the shark mouth. Then when it came to applying it, then noticed the fatal error in the kit, which was that. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the images here. I should have queued them up before we went live. There we go. The error was that Italeri supply a single shark mouth, a single design. And on the instruction sheet there, you can see it's saying apply decal 11B there. That's fine. If you're doing it gear up, I'm doing it gear down. And yeah, at that stage, I nearly screwed up the decal and threw it in the bin. I started to actually apply the markings for this scheme and then decided I'm going to go to bed and sleep on it. I slept on it overnight. I thought, no, I'm not giving up on my dream to do the shark mouth one. So you probably saw this on the Facebook feed. So the next day I came downstairs. The decal had dried out by then. So I popped it into the scanner and then used illustration software to mark out the exact center. Then using a measurement of the door, drew lines more or less equally either side, and then printed that out. Then overlaying the decal onto the printout, and as you can see there, the shapes match. I then very, very carefully, and it's that old adage of measure twice, cut once. I very, very carefully aligned it and then cut along the lines to separate the decal into the three parts that frankly Italeri should have done in the first place, or supply two shark mouths, one for gear up, one for gear down, which is what I would have done anyway. So there we go. So it was then applied and it was allowed to dry out. Since then, I have gone over it. I'm just going to bring the live picture in. Bear with. So since then, I have got over it several times with some Super Sol, and I've also run a scalpel blade into the panel lines to just open it up a bit more, and then run some more Super Sol into it again. So it will be an ongoing process. Also, pressing everything down and making sure it's firmly in place with a cotton bud. But yeah, I think we'll put that down as a bit of a save, quite frankly. So, and then we've got the main gear door there as well. So yeah, could have done without that. Thank you, Italeri. Watching where he puts his fingers, because he's just put his fingers on a wet decal there. Yeah, could have done without that. So that was the save. But oh goodness me. Right. Let's apply another decal, and that one should be pretty much. So where does this one go? This one sits just above the sharp mouth, and it provides the eye for it. So it lines up pretty much with that panel line there. And then there is our decal. There we go. It's sliding off this time rather than picking it up with a brush. So I'm just going to slide it off onto the, oops, come on. There we go. And we'll squeegee the excess off with the brush. Let's get it on camera. Squeegee the excess off, and then using the other end of the brush, we'll just line it up. So get the eye just there, and that should be level with the three should be level with the panel line. Yeah, the one is level with that panel line there. There we go. It's a fabulous looking aeroplane, isn't it? It's so kind of aggressive looking. I can't believe it's taken this long to get a mainstream 72nd scale AMX. But there we go. So let's find another sticker to put on, shall we? Weird way that I always do models is that I always prefer to put the national markings on last of all. It's just that unless they need to go on first of all because there are other markings layered on top of them. But I always see the national marking as just like, that's it, the final coup de grace. And that's just, we all build models differently, don't we? We've got some comments here. Dave Swindle says, afternoon, peeps. Chris Sandon Bailey says, afternoon, sir. I like the sir bit. Mike Williams says, I usually work my way around the decal placement guide, but then some markings are the same both sides and have the same numbers just to confuse us. Yeah. I vary. I don't really have a set plan for all this. I think sometimes I just look at the decal sheet and I think I just want to get them out of the way. For example, oops daisy, knocks something over. I've just had a look at the instructions here, and I've decided that I want to get some of the decal 13s out of the way. There appear to be a number of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just is now going to do a quick count to make sure there are enough decal 13s on the sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So there's another 13 that goes somewhere else. Let me just do a count again. Numbers aren't my strong point. I'm slightly dyscalculic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm definitely not seeing another. I'm looking at the layout here, and I'm definitely not seeing another 13 here. Unless there's an extra 13 on one of the other layouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, no. Okay, it looks like we've got more number 13s than we actually need. Just OCDing on this at the moment, just to have a look. It wouldn't be an Italeri kit without there being an oddity like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Right, okay. So, oh, there's the other 13 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't know why I didn't see that one there. Sorry, Italeri. I was about to go off on a bit of a rant there, and the error was mine. Right, so I am going to, rather than do these one at a time, I'm actually going to cut them off as a strip and soak them all in one go for one side of the aeroplane. So let's just dip them into the water. And put them there for a couple of seconds. So just having a quick check on the comments here. Dave says, I tend to put the national markings on first. Okay. Joseph Youngerman says, Dave Fleming, same for me. And Shane spotted where that other number 13 went rear of the aileron. Yeah, I've been looking forward to finishing this off. It managed to come back from, I started building it, so I got itchy nose. I started building it Telford 2023 and came home and the canopy was missing. So I've been waiting for the best part of a few months to get the canopy parts done. And it's been sat here in the workshop glaring at me for over a year now. So I'm determined to get it done. In fact, this is one of the things, I think I mentioned this the other day, but I am having a serious purge of the workshop at the moment, not starting any projects until I get some of the shelf hoggers here, shelf of doomers. I'm getting them out of the way. So we are moving on with the Antics Mini. I want to get the Italeri AMX done and out the way. I'm just having a look. I've got the Italeri Bedford QL. That's pretty much done, ready for delivery. I've also got the Dragon Armored Jeep. That just needs weathering. So there are a few, and then I can go back and carry on with the Tamiya Panzer I, which I was loving that kit, absolutely brilliant. I don't know why, came back from Telford and didn't carry on with it. I think it's because Christmas got in the way. So yeah, so it is going to be a right old purge here, and the ones that I know I'm not going to have the patience to really finish off for the moment. They're going to be mothballed up into the attic. But essentially, I just want to get to a stage in here where there are no outstanding projects hanging around, gathering dust. That's it. They're all done so that I can sit down and start things anew, frankly, with a clean conscience as well. So anyway, shall we? Let's apply decor number 13. So let's just see, are they? No, they're still a bit recalcitrant. Where does that sit? I think I saw a thing once where somebody who was applying decals was using a mirror to make sure that they were getting them the the right way on both sides, which I thought was rather clever, but I can't remember how that worked. But right, let's get you. There we go. Rookie error. I've just realised I've done something wrong there. Right, the stencil should face round the other way. It should be. Actually, I'm just going to take his glasses off and has a look. Yep. Yeah, it should be. The smallest part should face outwards. I think we could probably better off using a toothpick for positioning these. I'm just going to have a quick look. Oops, don't put your finger on the decal. Just having a look to see if they are aligned, and they're not. That will do. There's the one on the aileron. Thank you, Shane. Oh, I've got another tiny little rant about Italeri decals as well, which we will come to in a second. I'm just roughly positioning these for the moment, and then I'll go in and fine tune them. So I can just go in there now and this is where we need a cocktail stick, boys and girls. I think I've got like a rubber tipped tool that came with, I think it was the Humbrol kind of toolkit or something, which was, it was marketed as a decal applicator. So I need to have a deep dive into the drawers here to find that, because that certainly has merit. Right, there we go. Get those 13s out of the way. What are we all up to this afternoon? I will be going for a bit of a walk a bit later, just to get a bit of air in my legs, stretch my lungs and get some air in my legs, or something like that. But I will be listening to some of the football. Unfortunately, it's not a Six Nations Day today, so it'll be football, or it'll be Radio 3 Unwind, which I absolutely adore. Then when I come back this evening, then it will be opera on 3, because I loves my opera. I does. Right, that decal there is not straight, so we are going to go in there with a bit of microset. That's better. Let's have a look. Comments. Paul DRH Wiltshire says, I'm foil wrapping an English Electric Lightning. Mike Williams says, I'm currently procrastinating about the rigging on the Armory Models DH89 Dragon Rapide. In 1/48, it's still a small aeroplane. Anybody hasn't seen Mike's de Havilland Dragon Rapide, we will post some links to it on our Facebook page. Mike, you're always welcome to post pics on our public page as well. Dave Fleming says you'll need a kit for that. You'll have to explain that one to me, Dave. Joseph Youngerman says 0500 here, only awake due to post-vacation jet lag. Jim Ortegott says, for me, it will be shoveling snow. We've got some overnight snowfall that requires clearing away the car and driveway. And Chris Sandon Bailey says, Quins versus Sarries on later on for the rugby fix, but it's creating plans for the Saab 90 Scandia here. Absolutely. Oh, kilt. Sorry, Dave said I need a kilt for that. Oh, there you go, Dave. I wouldn't say no to one. Oh, that would be. I can carry it off. I've got. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Sorry, my head's a bit cold at the moment. So, right. Shall we put some more stickers on, and then you lot can go and enjoy your Saturday afternoon, and I can actually listen to the rugby or the football. What am I looking for? What decals shall we apply? We'll apply decals 3 from the common area. I'm just having a look. How many 3s are there? Not make that mistake again. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the upper port side, and there are 8 on the sheet, so we've got more than enough. So that's one of the things I'm always doing when I'm designing sheets. Is I get to the layout stage, and then I am going back through the actual color diagrams and checking to see have I supplied enough. Like I'm applying now, these are NATO hoist markings. The clever thing is that by and large, I can cut and paste that into the search criteria of Illustrator, and it will tell me there are 24 of the shapes on the layout, and that's how many I need for the actual sheet as well. So there are ways of checking, but so I'm just giving it a little dunk here. See, again, we're trying different methods today, and we'll pop that onto the paper towel. I'm just checking a couple of comments here. Yeah, Jim says perhaps a wee too cold for a kilt, JM. Yeah. Shane Weir says masking canopies, hate it. I've got a love-hate relationship with them, Shane. I do sometimes enjoy the challenge of it, but if it's something like a Stuka, I just go out and buy a canopy masking set. Chris Sandon Bailey says that's formal dress for Telford sorted. Dave Fleming, yeah, I'll wear one for Telford. Extras of the tiny ones are always appreciated. All right, good point, Shane. I'll bear that in mind next time. Perhaps if I do that, is put a note on the layouts to say extras of decal are provided. In fact, that's one of the things I'm conscious of is how many modelers like to spray and paint their markings these days, is that I will sometimes supply additional decals with a note on the instructions that extra decals are provided for modelers who wish to mask and paint their own markings. So I'm always conscious of that. Right, there it be. Get off the brush, you. There we go. And they always face outwards like so. Yeah, the Italeri AMX, I've got to say, absolutely, I think it's beautiful. And I think Italeri really have raised their game with it. But the days of when I used to go into beaters and Italeri kits were, I'm not going to say cheap and cheerful, but they certainly were affordable compared to some of the Japanese competition. Yeah, we're not in that world anymore, unfortunately now, and Italeri's prices are a little bit more than they were 30 odd years ago, relatively speaking. The price for this AMX is, I think it comes in round about the £20 mark, which might seem a lot of money for a smallish 72nd scale aircraft model. That is purely a personal decision. I've got to say, with the amount of decals that have to go on this, I'm certainly, you know, I'd certainly be getting my money's worth, so to speak, from the decaling itself. But as I say, that is purely a personal kind of judgment call. Hello, where's that gone? That goes in there. Goodness me, that that microset that I put down, that flashed off very, very quickly. Oh, that's the other thing I find really sometimes utterly frustrating about Italeri, especially with some of their new tool stuff, is the GA drawings sometimes don't necessarily match the kit. And it's almost as if the decal artists are working to a different set of drawings. I don't understand that. Oops, Daisy, we're off camera there. Yeah, because I was building Italeri wise year or so back, and when it came to putting the decals on, I was looking at the instruction sheet and I thought there are panel lines here that aren't on the kit. And you can understand that to some extent sometimes with older kits, but when they're brand new toolings, and generally there are CAD images that you can work from, I don't get that. But anyway, that's the hoist markings on. I'm just having a look. What I should do as good practice is, as I am working my way around the kit, is right. We have done decal 3, we've done 13, we've done 13 there, we've done 13 there, we've done 3, 3, 13, 3. We've done those decals, even though decals 1 and 2 for the pylons are actually transposed, but never mind. We've done the ones for the drop tanks, and we've done the ones for the fin, and that shark mouth. Actually, I'm just having a look. Decal 16. What is decal 16? Oh, decal 16. Goodness me, decal 16. I'm just going to have a quick look. Okay, decal 16 appears to be some yellow dashes that run across there. absolutely cannot see it on that layout. All right, and we've done the shark mouth. So, and we've done 9 as well. So I think we'll add some more to the fuselage. I want to get that. I want to get the big bang seat marking on. So and anybody remember that old adage about always trim your decals? It was Chris Ellis said that in How to Go Plastic Modeling, a book I may have mentioned on this channel before. Obviously, this was in an era before people discovered that you didn't need to do that. All you needed to do was have a super smooth, i.e. glossy surface, and you let the varnish do the hard work for you. And I think, in fact, I think it was Ray Rimmel who, in scale aircraft modeling back in the 80s, made the point that if you do cut the excess varnish away, you create a ridge, whereas when you are letting the gloss and the setting solutions do the job for you, the edge of the decal is going to be, there's going to be like a smooth kind of transition to the very edge. So yeah, so it's funny how these things change, isn't it? Crazy Loca says, I find this a perfect opportunity to use those oddball coloured markers to mark off the finished decals. What coloured markers are this? Are these, Loca? A habit, he says, a habit learned from JM from these little work sessions. We're not talking about the AK markers, are we? Les Venus says, loving the beanie. I'm loving it as well, Les. It's keeping my bald head nice and warm. And Jared says, I'm battling a Dora Wing Leslie. Highlighter, yeah. And Jeff Baker says AMX are £29.99. I think the cheapest I saw them was about £26, but that's a lot of money for a little 72nd scale aircraft. And in fact, I do remember when the Fujimi Phantoms, oh my goodness me, when the Spey engine Phantoms came out in Check's notes 1987, Mike McAvoy made a comment about the fact that they cost $7.99. Now we think these days, oh, $7.99 for a kit, that sounds cheap. Oh, I tell you what, if you adjust that for inflation, I'm sure Dave is going to go and do that. If you adjust that for inflation, they were, back in 1987, they were eye-wateringly expensive. And sorry, I'm waiting for the adhesive to soften on this decal. Yeah, they were eye-wateringly expensive. And oops daisy, he's managed to break a decal there. Yeah. And I'd started my first job working for the local newspaper. So I'd finished art college that year, and I started working down the high street for it was called the Scan back then, but it later became the Ad Mag. And I was doing linotronic typesetting and cutting and pasting, all very kind of basic stuff. But I got my first wage packet and I went into Beatties in Bristol, and I thought, you know what, I've spent the whole year reading about these Fujimi British Phantoms. So I plopped £7.99 over the counter and bought one. And I can remember almost feeling kind of like, not lightheaded, but absolutely terrified that I just spent an inordinate amount of money on a kit. Bearing in mind, for the most part, I'd be buying them from Beatties for £1. So to suddenly spend £7.99 on a model, that felt terrifying. Right. I'm just trying to work out I'm trying to work something out here. Right. What we've got is on the illustration, I'm going to have to zoom in. On the illustration, we've got decal number 7 nestling up here on this panel line, right next to this oval shaped panel line here. But on the kit, zooms out, on the kit, the oval shaped panel line is down there. You've got a round one here. So is that what the instructions are referring to? It is. I tell you why. Because the oval shape corresponds to the warning marking there. So we are going to have to gently push that decal back up a bit. Should have figured that out beforehand, but without breaking that decal. See, this is what I mean about the frustrating thing sometimes with Italeri is just that kind of attention to detail. Right, that decal, let's get that eyelash out of the way. That decal should align with the emergency marking there. That aligns with the oval panel line. Italeri have drawn it on the sheet that they're showing the oval panel line right up by the canopy. So right, that'll do. This is what I mean. I really do. I adore Italeri, but just sometimes they find a way of robbing victory. They find a way of robbing defeat from the jaws of victory. Right, let's get the pencil out and mark that one as done. 8B. Oh, I might have to go and make another drink there. Right, Dave Fleming says £8 in 1987 would be £23 now. He's using the Bank of England's inflation adjuster. Oh, yes, and Dave says, Dave also says, if you think kit prices have gone above inflation, they have. Have a look at gig prices. Oh, honestly, Dave, I honestly don't think I could afford to go to gigs these days. Trying to think, what was the last live gig I went to was public service broadcasting on the Every Valley tour, and I went with Tim, Maunder, and Drew. Great gig, by the way, but goodness me. I went to a gig. Actually, I went to a gig the other Saturday, and it was like a chamber orchestra in a church, and I got 3 tickets, one for me, one for my friend Tara, and one for my friend Laura. 66 quid it still costs. I mean, that's the price of one ticket for one of these big gigs, but yeah. Anyway, Chris says, just been joined by the next generation of modelers, Noah, who is working on his Revell 144 scale Eurofighter Typhoon. Chris also says, that's nothing. Here we go. He says, Dave, that's nothing compared to the price of a pint. Yeah, and Lox9 says hello, JM, and Mike Williams. And Mike's got great musical taste. He says I'm seeing public service broadcasting at my local theatre end of March. Yeah, I really would like to go and see him on the on this new tour with the Amelia Earhart concept album that they've done. If you haven't heard it, folks, it is brilliant. It is absolutely The Last Flight, I think it's called. It is absolutely fabulous. Right, let's go back to the workshop, shall we? Let's put some more stickers on, and then I can go and make another hot drink, and you can all go about your afternoons. So I'll tell you what, we will put some on the we won't do on the underside. We're going to carry on top sides. The carry-on film that they never made. Right, we are going to put number 16 on because I need to know where that goes. Number 16. There it is. There. Oh, I thought it was a continuous line of markings. It's not. It's a I think it's an electricity marking. Yep. Nope. It is a single marking there. So, gosh, that's tiny. That's tiny. Said the person who is always cramming decal sheets with what were once described as pointless stencils. Well, I'd like to make sure people get their money's worth, because, like I say, if you're buying a kit and you spend a week constructing it, but you then spend another kind of like 3 or 4 nights applying all the unnecessary stencils, you're getting your money's worth. Goodness me. Pointless. What was I can't Dave will remember what it was. It was something like that. Pointless stencils or something. You don't have to apply them all. So let's have a look. We are up. Right. Okay. I'm going to ready another couple of markings whilst I'm waiting for that one to leap off the sheet. So I've got decal number 6. Actually, we've got decal number 17. Where does that go? Oh, it goes on the other side of the fuselage. Just having a look. Jared Watkinson says, seen adult from Detroit in the week for £22, then Battle of the Metal Bands tonight in Bridgewater for £7. Ain't all bad, and $3.20 a pint. Yeah, that sounds great. Pick me up at 8, will you, Jared? I'll join you for that. No, I'm joking. Opera on 3 tonight for me, he said grandly. I'm just having a look here. Where does decal number 4 go? I get the feeling that's on the underside. No, 4 goes at the back of the fuselage. All right, we'll do that one. Yeah, I can remember going back a million years ago when that Fujimi RAF Phantom and doing the Lovis Grey one, and that was just nights and nights and nights of applying stencils. That was glorious. I loved it, but yeah, white stencils on a light grey aeroplane. Great fun. Hobby Time says, "Yay, 72nd scale Phantom decals." Well, I can tell you that when I was doing the decal design for the Airfix 72nd scale FG1 Phantom, I actually had to leave some out because there are some markings on the F4 in 72nd scale are so small it just wouldn't have been practical or feasible to do them. And also, I once I'd designed the individual elements and got them onto the model, you're then looking at them to see how can you group some of them together to make, you know, one decal. So right, let's pop our electrical symbol, which sits on the corner of that panel there. Oops, Daisy. Sits on the corner of that panel there where the shark mouth is. Oh, come on. Off the tip of the brush. This is Shane's anxiety now about me picking up decals with the tip of the brush. There we go. And we got that one there. And I think that will be it for the live. I'm going to carry on putting the stickers on this afternoon, but I think you lot need to go and enjoy your afternoons or go and do some actual modeling or something. So I'm just trying to see which way round this marking goes. It is the other way around. Yep, there we go. So I will carry on decaling. The Gerald Thomas and Peter Rogers film that should have been made. But yes, I'm just going to go and grab another project here and give you a little bit of an update on that. Bear with. In fact, I do declare we have a graphic for that. So I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Right. Also, you'll notice that having put stickers on this, how I'm lifting this now by the tail and the nose so that I don't put clumsy mitts and end up with markings stuck to my fingers. Right, this is on finals now. It is my replica of the Green Machine, my beloved old Green Mini, which I do think Mr. David Fleming had a lift in once. This is pretty much in its unfinished state. This is actually one of the best gloss finishes I think I've ever got on a car. A little bit flat there, but never mind. But we will be trisacting this, and also giving it a little bit of a polish. But the caveat is, because I am doing a replica of the Green Machine, is there will be dust down here. It will be a little bit dusty and rusty. All around the edge of the roof here. In the rain gutter, I will be putting debris. I've also got the rubber seals of the rain gutter to paint, plus the rubber seals around the windows. But I'm not going to do them until I've finished trisacting it and polishing it. And I've also got the mud guards as well. They'll be picked out in black. And I don't know how many of you can see that, eagle-eyed can see that. Just there is a beloved little rust hole there, because the A panels on these things always used to rust. So yeah, this is very close to completion now. A bit of trisacting, a bit of polishing, some final detail painting. Might even do that as a live. Then I can put it on a display board and I can deliver it to Antics in Bristol. So looking forward to getting that one, another project done and out of the way. Also, you may have seen on the live last week that I was talking about these Humbrol acrylic weathering acrylic paint pens, and as I demonstrated live on the show, is that even though the tips aren't, I didn't think the tips were as fine as some of the other acrylic pens that I've got, but we discovered that if you pull them out, there's actually a finer tip at the other end. So the best thing to do is activate them by activating them at this end, and they will be punishing on that tip. But once you start getting the paint starts coming out, is you just take them out, swap them round, and then you've got a nice fine tip to paint with. So that was quite interesting, because there's nothing on the packaging that mentions the fact that there is a finer tip in there, and in fact all the illustrations on the front show the big tip. So top tip there, folks. Haha. So that is, they're very interesting to use at the moment. In fact, I will be using them on the Mini at some stage. And then also from Humbrol, I've got some their chipping fluid, which I will be trying out on the Dragon Jeep, because I'm doing a winter whitewash on that one. So we will be putting that to the test. So that's it now. Goodness me, we've done an hour and 9 minutes of your precious life has been spent watching a confused man from Dudley with his Flying Scotsman beanie hat on, and a life preserver. But big thank you actually to my friend Jane. We went for a walk yesterday, and she got me that as an extra Christmas present. She got me this for Christmas as well, which was very kind of her. So anyway, on that note, we will be back tomorrow night with an interesting modeling company live. Keith says, oh, thank you, Keith. He says, the Mini looks good. My first car was a Mini 1000 1969 reg. Oh, don't. I just wish I could still own a classic Mini, but never mind. Ian Goldstraw says, greetings from Da Nang, a balmy 25 here, unlike back home in the UK. Yeah, perishing out there today. And Joseph Youngerman says, enjoyed it. Back to my Sword KI 102 Randy build today. Cheers all. Yeah, so that's it. Crazy Loca says, thanks for that. Thanks for the first coffee and company, JM. So yeah, so we, in theory, will be back tomorrow night with the Sunday service, and we'll be going through some of the modeling news of the week. Until then, it just remains for me to say thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. So bye for now.